Save the Children has just reunited the 7,000th child separated from their family by conflict in South Sudan. Earlier, I spoke to the Director of Advocacy, Campaigns and Safeguarding for Save the Children, Muzamil Sebi. Thank you so much for joining us, and it's wonderful news, 7,000th child reunited that we're going to call 13-year-old Simon. Can you tell us more about Simon and the reunification?
All right, thank you, Jen. Muzamil, the Director of Advocacy, Campaign, Communication and Media for Save the Children in South Sudan. The history of reunification and the work of Save the Children on reunification has started way back in 2017. And this year, in October, you saw the press release, and the press release is about the 7,000 child that were reunited, and that is Simon. Simon is a child who left Khartoum, not knowing where his families are, and then decided to join the rest of the people who are fleeing the conflict that started way back in 2000. That started way back in April, and then ran all the way to the border, and were able to find Simon at the border through our partner IOM that recommended to us that there is an accompanied child who is with them, and that's how we got hold of Simon. And as a process, whenever there are this reunification happening, we do a lot of a comprehensive and multi-faced approach together with our partners. And there are a few things that needed to be done. For example, identification of this child and the documentation this child might be having, and then trying to look at all this information and enter them into the database, and reaching widely, the social workers reaching all out to see whether there's anybody who has information about this child. And then when we started the tracing and the searching bit of it, we try to use so many methods. And one of the methods is to see how can we tap into the community networks that are existing, talking to the local authorities, and also trying to leverage our database, because our database has a comprehensive information on any child that is missing or that an accompanied child. And once this search happens to start, then we happen to find, for example, the relative or a parent of this particular child that we are trying to unify. And then there is what we call family tracing and reunification that we undertake. During this process, of course, there are a few things to do, because the process of trying to get this child and searching for the real parents is something that might take some time. It might not be immediate as such, and therefore, what Save the Children does, together with its partners like UNICEF and other local organizations that we do partner in this reunification, we identify a foster family that should be able to take care of this child, and we have a constant responsibility of trying to ensure that this child is checked, and how the child is doing, how the new family that he's been placed in or is also doing, and try to support them. Of course, there is a lot that we do, from psychosocial support to emotional kind of a support that we give, and also try to give to the family, the foster family, some little bit of non-food items or food items in order to continue to really support this family, that the particular child that we are trying to unify. And then, of course, after getting all this information about the family, wherever they are located, will do a little bit of verification and assessment, and plan for the reunification process, and then try to move this child from where he is to where the family is and then try to reunite them. It's a very emotional moment, and you might have seen how big the figures are. And our work is not very far. Is very far from really achieving it in totality. That's what I can tell you, Jen. And those are some of the processes that are associated with this reunification process.
It certainly sounds like a very comprehensive process, and extraordinary for Simon, who travelled a distance of nearly 500 kilometres on his own through an active war zone before your team met him, as you said, in southern Sudan, and reconnected with his family. Thank you so much for sharing that story. It is some good news in these dark times, but really appreciate you coming on the show. And take care, Muzamil Sebi. Thank you very much.